Hello, everyone, and welcome to an all-new mini episode of the Loud Casa Talks. My name is Nate, and alongside of me is my good friend Omid.
Hey, what's up, Vlog Crown and Casa Crew? How y'all doing?
So, pretty busy week today. This week. How you been handling your week so far?
My week has been so far so good. Like my full-time job's been continuing to go well. So here's the thing. Like today, I got the day off. Because we're moving to a new location. We're moving to a new building. So pretty much my workplace is going to be moving to a new building. But we're still going to be located in the same area, thankfully. So tomorrow I'm going to be helping them unpack. I'm going to arrive at the new building and help them unpack.
Okay, so you had a day off. That's good. That you have a chill day off. But yeah, you know what? This week though was actually pretty interesting. Like, I did say last weekend I went to San Francisco, had myself a fun time over there. But this week I've just been like relaxing, chilling, and also getting some interviews in for jobs and stuff. So, progressing, but at the moment still no offer. So I'm kind of like, okay, sign up for more jobs again. I guess that's what's gonna happen. But yeah, it's just more of me just relaxing for now. But I don't want to relax too much because I have things going on. By the way, it is summertime. I want you all to recognize that we have Baja Blast in stores now. Make sure you go get yourself a cans of Baja Blast. Not in Taco Bell, by the way. They got those Taco Bell ones. Those are good too. But I'm just saying, you don't need to go to Taco Bell to get a Baja Blast. They're all great here. Wait, go to your local stores and get some now.
I would know. You've given me some.
By the way, yeah, I mean, we don't go to cons often anymore because conventions are also like closed off. The thing is that, you know, that's a local thing for me. It's like I gotta get Baja Blast so everybody actually gets like hydrated instead of, you know, dying out there in their cosplays in the heat and all.
Exactly. That's a cool drink to have, like regardless of whether you're going to a con or a trip or vacation or whatever. It's always good to bring a Baja Blast because it's really cool, it's really refreshing, it's really sweet.
Exactly. All right. Enough advertising. I'm pretty sure Mountain Dew is going to kill us for that. Anyway, let's head over to our episode reviews. We have 2 episodes to review. First off is Battle of the Grandpas. So when Frida's dad comes for a visit, Hector tries to win back his grandchildren's attention. So first off, how do you like the fact that we have a famous actor like Danny Trejo join in the Casagrandes?
It's actually really interesting, and it really does. I can see Danny Trejo being part of the Casagrandes himself, given his heritage. So I'm glad that we got to finally see him in the show. I also love that he's also Frida's dad. So it was nice to see a little Frida and Danny reunion going on. And of course, that scene where he brings her the tissues, and Frida just loves it. It's like, they feel like velvet pillow and smell like cotton candy.
Also, another thing too, like
Danny knows his daughter well.
Dude, we have not seen like Frida have like episodes or something like this. This one is like more of, okay, cool. We have actually seen Frida's family. We actually, to be honest, we actually haven't seen Frida's family at all. We have seen like the Casagrandes, obviously. So you see Maria and Carlos's parents and children, etc. But what about Frida's side? We never actually seen that. How do you feel that we actually have a sense of like who Frida's family is?
I really do like that we finally get a brief look into Frida's side of the family, like Frida's family. I'm glad that we finally get to see Frida's dad, but it also makes me open for more opportunities to see more Frida's family, like Frida's mom, Frida's siblings, Frida's cousins, maybe. Honestly, I feel that this episode is going to open doors to that.
You know, I mean, things that I've been noticing also, Frida's family, we need to actually see more of that, like his mom or grandpa, or let's say, or something like that. One thing I actually noticed about I'm gonna go back to my previous question when we have Jenny Trejo back. We're having big celebrities actually come in. I mean, you have Ken Jeong, who's Stanley Chang. You've got Melissa Joan Hart, who's Becca Chang. You've got that one creaker, that one actor who was the voice of Hong. And yeah, I would have to say, like, this is a huge list of celebrities that we're bringing in.
Jonathan Banks as Ronnie An's coach. Don't forget about Jonathan Banks.
Okay, yeah, I know that, but nobody actually pointed that out. only Breaking Bad fans would know that, okay?
Breaking Bad fan, baby.
But now it kind of tells me, like, what other actors and actresses can we actually bring in? I mean, you do have Arturo actually being like a famous actor himself as well. So there's possible chances there's gonna be like more probably Latino celebrities coming into the Casagrandes. That'll be great to have. I mean, Danny Trejo is already big as Machete, so
please,
anything can happen.
Please let there be Lin-Manuel Miranda in the Casagrandes.
Oh my god!
Please let there be.
Ooh, that would be really awesome. That would be really awesome.
I am praying to whoever's casting the voice actors. Please put Lin-Manuel Miranda into the Casagrandes.
You know what though? I mean, you have that one Carlota episode coming up soon, by the way, that 30-minute episode that we're going to be talking about on Sunday. Yes. So maybe Lin-Manuel Miranda could be there. It probably is going to be part of that musical, that Music Fest episode thing. So yeah, hopefully that can happen. That'd be awesome to actually have Lin-Manuel Miranda be in there. The man who made Hamilton.
And In the Heights.
Well, he produced it, right? Not made the film, did he?
He produced it and he wrote the songs to it. Like he did the music for In the Heights also.
Yeah, he's pretty famous. All right, back to our discussion about the grandpas here. So how did you like Hector trying to impress his grandchildren over Danny?
Of course, since it's in character for Hector, of course he's gonna get jealous because he's got competition of being the abuelo to his grandkids. So when they see like how much of a big shot. Now, this guy is a big shot. And when I mean big shot, I don't mean just the actor. The character himself is a massive celebrity. Like, let me tell you, he has done it all. He's probably like pretty much one of Hollywood's biggest iconic characters, like in the realm of the Casagrande universe. Like he's worked with, especially with Phoebe Powers, that's big. So of course, when Hector sees how, Danny is all muscular, big, charming, good looking, and all this stuff, it makes Hector feel a little insecure about himself. So he uses his insecurities as a way to get him to compete with Danny, to prove that, Hector is the true abuelo. Like, because it is true at the end of the day, like Hector has been there for his grandkids throughout like their whole lives, whereas Danny is sort of a one shot abuelo in a sense. Like he's rarely been with them in person. So of course Hector has a valid point in being jealous. And at the same time, it's also really fun to see him compete with Danny Trejo.
Danny Trejo himself. Well, it makes sense because like Danny came in and he look, it's everybody's favorite grandpa because you can just see Carl, Carlito, and CJ and Carlota pretty much all about him. And the fact that like even Bobby and Ronnie Ann actually like him too. And the thing is, like, Danny is pretty much Danny Trejo. Literally, like he pretty much throws money at his kids. He rides a motorcycle. He's done all the things. An actor, even like cooks as an actor. I mean, I feel bad for Hector especially because like, yeah, he's trying to be the best grandpa, but he's also like, just giving him money. He's kind of like Mr. Krabs, but not even like but better than Mr. Krabs. So he tries his best to at least improve himself with his grandchild. I really do love the fact that he does his best. Like, remember the part where he was trying to rap?
Yes,
that little scene where he tries to rap, and then I love how Danny just like raps with him too. But he's a better rapper, obviously, than Hector.
I love that rap battle, man. It's like, oh, big rap battles of like my city. Hector Casagrande versus Danny Trejo. Begin. Yo. I bet you didn't know your abuelo knew how to rap.
No, how good that is. Danny, that's not rapping. There was that. I forgot what other things that they that he tried to impress the kids with. It was like rapping and then like cooking, I believe, because I remember he was trying to cook like something for him. I think he cooked crepes because I think Daddy cooked crepes and then he tried to cook a crepe too, but it failed at him.
Oh man, I love crepes, so
Which
I want to.
reminds me. It reminds me. Go to San Francisco. Crepes are good over there.
Yes, this episode makes me want a crepe.
Going on Saturday.
Yeah. I don't want to get all crepe. I don't want to get all crepey, but
so obviously they don't like. The other thing too is like I love the fact that like Hector even like threw off Danny by like making Danny ride an express train to somewhere in Great Lake City, which then led them to their little competition. What do you think about the competition between Danny and Hector?
Oh my god, I love how it's evenly matched. What I mean by evenly matched is that there are some matches that Danny wins, and there are others that Hector himself wins. I think like one of the best parts for me was the mustache wrestling, like stash wrestling.
What?
I loved it. I loved this joke because like it's pretty much the exaggerated version of arm wrestle where they use their big mustaches in order to see who's the better man, like who's the better macho. I love that. It's so creative.
I do love the other competitions that were coming up. I mean, like they were doing like a prune juice challenge where like, you know, they drink a bottle of prune juice and obviously the one who holds it it's gross though, by the way. When you think about it, it's gross because prune juice does, you know, gross.
Yeah, don't go there, man.
What other things were there? I know that they were doing like a stunt show. I remember that
Hector was bull riding and Danny Trejo was riding a motorcycle.
And then they also did like some small little competitions where I think like they were fishing, and obviously Hector would get the small fish, and then Danny gets the big fish because he's all muscular. He just goes into the pond and just lifts up a big fish. either way, I mean the competitions seem pretty cool. Like you know what, they're battling for each other's like betterness to be a little better grandparent to the children. But the other thing too is that you know, even if Hector loses, Daddy being the best Daddy being a grandpa is actually pretty hectic for him, as you saw in the final scenes of the episode. Eventually those two actually would agree to be like, you know, the best grandpas for the family and actually co-op together. So how did you like the ending where the two agreed that they are great grandpas?
Oh, I really liked it. I liked how it showed the difference between being the cool grandpa and the real grandpa, because it really shows how some of the cool grandpas or cool aunts or cool uncles, in a sense, they don't do as well with the relatives that they go to see, because in a way, like they're the other grandpas, like the real grandpas, are there for them like every single day of their lives. So I like how the episode is aware of this. It's aware that at the end of the day, Hector is the real abuelo of the two because he's been there for them every single day. And even though he has his imperfections like greediness and all that stuff, at the end of the day, whenever their grandkids are in need of help or in trouble, abuelo is the one that's truly there. And I like how Danny comes to terms with that.
Yeah, and I love the fact that, like, look, Daddy cannot really handle, like, grandchildren, for example. I mean, like, look, yeah, you haven't seen, like, Ronnie Ann or Carl or Carlito for a long time. You're only there just to visit. And if you're going to be the Nick's grandpa, you got to be taking care of, like, what they want to do, and that's already a hassle for him. So, in the end, they do agree to terms. And I love the fact that they rode off in a bicycle together, just, like number one grandpa, and then number one OG grandpa. Yeah, OG indeed.
Yeah.
So it kind of tells you, like, yeah, they're both really good grandpas, and they really do work together. As you know, you think it's gonna be a huge battle between the two of them, who's better, who's not. But to say the least, at the end of the day, they're both fulfilling their duties as grandpas to, you know, to pretty much like make their kids happy or their grandchildren happy. So
exactly.
So anything else you want to bring up in this episode?
Yes. Now, I want to see in future episodes, I want to see Danny interacting with more of the Casagrande family. I kind of want to see how Danny how the relationship between Danny and Carlos would be. Either Danny is going to like Carlos like a son, like playfully, tease him because he's a nerd and Danny's like the macho guy, or Danny's gonna hate Carlos and still be overprotective of Frida, which bears a resentment of which bears Danny's resentment towards Carlos. It could go either way. Number one. Number two. Second thing I want to point out is that I feel that Ronnie and Bobby could have played a more significant role in the show because Ronnie and Bobby. When you do think about it, Ronnie and Bobby just met Danny, and they're already going along with the whole hype of best grandpa. Yeah. But I totally get that they're kids, they're impressionable, like they're appeal to whatever is cool. But I feel that at least in the middle or in the end, like Ronnie and Bobby should have come to realize that like they should have came to see what's wrong with Hector. Like it's like Hector, are you okay? And then Hector opens up and says, no, Danny is here trying to take away my grandkids, and he's trying to take away you two as well. And who do I got left? I got nothing. Wow, I do a good impression of Hector. Anyway, Ronnie and Bobby then look at Hector and they'd be like, "Oh, Hector, like, not even Danny, as cool as he is and how well he works with Phoebe Powers, not even he can replace you. You're there for us every day of our lives," which comes to make Hector feel better about himself. And so Ronnie Ann and Bobby then help Hector defeat Danny, where the Casagrandes siblings help Danny to defeat Hector. I felt that it could have went that direction because it could have shown like a stronger bond, even more of the strong bond moments between Ronnie Ann and Bobby and their true abuelo Hector, who's there for their every day for them.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if Ronnie Ann and Bobby can actually have a big role. I mean, it's not really the focus with them actually, taking like a hold of like the Casagrande of the whole episode itself. I mean, it is pretty much an ongoing dilemma between both grandpas, Danny and Hector. So to say the least, it was I don't think they were necessarily needed for it. They were just there for like, hey, it's Ronnie and Bobby. Hey, it's fun to have them around. But no, they didn't make a significant point because the thing is like, this is not the kids' point. The kids are just impressed at which grandpa they like. So yeah, they don't really need to have like a big focus on it. It's just more of like, yeah, the grandpas are just doing each other out, which is pretty much how the episode went. And I thought that was actually good. Not really having Ronnie Ann and Bobby actually come out and say, hey, is something wrong with Hector or blah, blah, blah. But yeah.
Yeah, like I'm not saying like have Ronnie and Bobby overshadow the episode because, like you said, at the end of the day, the episode is, of course, mainly focused on Hector and Danny. But I feel that like they could have had a bigger role than they did in the episode. Like at least in the last 2 minutes, have Ronnie and Bobby reassure Hector that he's the true abuelo to them. Like at least at the end.
You know what, though? I would love to see more, like, Frida interacting with Danny. I mean, that probably is, like, the only one shot we'll probably have Danny, unless you have another episode in the third season. But maybe more time with Frida and Danny. I mean, that would make sense because, daughter and daddy, hanging out for, like, a little bit. It's like, yeah, you're only giving her tissues, that's it.
Yeah, I want to see that. I want to see a full 15-minute episode with not just Frida and Danny together, but also more Frida's family as well, like Frida's side.
Look, we have not seen Frida's side since now, so we need to have more about that. All right,
that's what I mean. Like this opens doors. This opens doors.
Yeah, this opens a lot of doors that we can actually. There's more relatives with Frida, which I would love to see more of because we always see the Casagrandes, and obviously this is the Casagrandes. But yeah, we have to see more. We can hopefully see more of Frida soon, or Frida's family soon. Anyway, so what is your rating on this episode?
I'm gonna give this an 8 out of 10. While not the strongest episode I've seen, it's definitely a lot of fun to watch. It's definitely a lot of fun to watch two different abuelos just duke it out with each other. Of course, I really do like how they handled Hector's insecurities, how they handled Hector's jealousy because he fears that Danny's taking his grandkids away from him, which is totally understandable because Hector's been there for them for like almost every day of their life, as opposed to Danny, who just comes and goes. And I do love Danny Trejo as well. Danny himself is a really good character as well, not just because of his voice actor. I felt that he really does nail the fun number one grandpa, just by how the character is written as well.
I most certainly agree. I think Danny Trejo was a great addition to the Casagrandes and providing his voice into animated shows. It's weird because like he's now into more animated shows. Like I didn't know he was in like Rick and Morty. I didn't know he was also in Big City Greens, and now he's actually contributing in the Casagrandes. So I'm thinking he's gonna be now a pretty famous voice actor now. But it's good to have him. Good to have him on. I think he had a great impression as a big hunky Hector, a big hunky Danny, trying to take on against Hector, who's also a grandpa. It's a battle of the grandpas, which obviously is the episode, and it definitely does show like who obviously wants to go for their grandkids more. And like I said, this was a great competition, especially like in the halfway point of this episode. I do love the ending too, because it just tells you like these grandpas are great. One number one grandpa and one OG number one grandpa. I thought that was a great like little ending line. Those two like riding off into the sunset and getting hit by a bull.
Grand pals.
I really hope they can collaborate more, because if you see that already, it kind of tells you like, okay, there could be more episodes with those two hanging out. But yeah, I gotta give this an 8 out of 10. This definitely was a really entertaining episode. I was pretty much laughing throughout the whole thing too. But yeah, it really was a good episode.
Yeah, and I also love how Vita is really supportive of Hector as well. It shows how good of a friend he is towards him.
Most definitely. All right, to the second episode of the second episode that also aired on Friday last week. I think most of you already will love to talk about this one, Prankaversary. So here's the synopsis here. Ronnie Ann and Lincoln is back again. Are set for a big day of pranks, and newbie Sid wants to join in on the fun. So I want to ask you first off, how do you like the existence of a Prankaversary between Lincoln and Ronnie Ann?
Well, let me just say this. Oh, mister. Love is war. Why
would you put that song up? I love the anime, but come on.
I love it too. And it got me thinking, yes, Prankaversary is a love is war episode. No questions asked, man. Ever since just the premise of the episode, like I've been anticipating for this episode because once again, it's a Sidonican episode, people. Those are always fun,
so it's pretty much an utter mess part 2.
It's an utter mess part 2, man. It's a sequel.
So I was actually surprised when I first saw this. I was like, wait, you guys did this for years? Wait, we haven't actually heard about this Prankaversary till now. So back in the old Loud House episodes, we have to look back at like how they pranked each other then.
Yeah, I think what happened was that they used to prank each other back in Royal Woods. We know for a fact that Ronnie Ann has been doing a whole lot of pranking herself towards Lincoln, but that was like at the beginning of the Loud House, like all the way in the beginning, back when Lincoln thought that Ronnie Ann was just a rough bully.
Right. And yeah, it's weird because it's like, wow, you guys were a bully. You thought like Ronnie Ann was a bully like back in season 1, and then in season 2, you guys became buddies. And when is that when the Prankaversary started, where you guys started pranking each other, and it became a thing like that? It actually moves into Great Lake City.
Yeah, apparently that's a thing. I think it's because. I think it's thanks to Ronnie Ann pranking Lincoln in the first place that got them to make Prankaversary like an annual thing. So at the end of the day, it was Ronnie Ann who started it.
So the thing is, like, how did it start? With April Fool's Rules? Because that's when she put her first prank out to Lincoln.
Well, more like Ronnie Ann's prank towards Luann when she threw the pie at Luann's face.
Yeah, and then she also did put a prank to Lincoln when she sent a gift out to Lincoln maybe that's also another Prankaversary timeline. I don't know. And there's a huge like disparity there.
No, Nate, you're thinking about Back Out There. That episode, Back Out There, when Ronnie Ann sends the gift to Lincoln, and then she's like, "Oh, I have a gift for you. Can you open it for me? I want to make sure it's not damaged." And so Lincoln opens up the box,
opens up the package, and the pie goes into his face. And it also happened in like the virtual calls too.
Yes.
Oh man, there's a lot of things to think about. But like, yeah, I don't know how they actually started their quote Prankaversary. Either way, like, I love the fact that like Ronnie Ann even said like, "Yeah, Lincoln's like my bro." Yeah, sure, bro. No, like we're bros.
You can see the face. You can see the facial expressions and gestures carefully when Ronnie Ann explains to Sid that it's been their thing. Like, she's rubbing her arm, like she's rubbing her arm.
We're really going into the details on this.
And she's looking at her face, like she's looking at the floor, like all shy, happy kind of shy, as she's speaking about Lincoln. And something tells me that, it's going to be more than just bros. Like, Ronnie Ann herself knows it's more than just bros. Her bro, come on.
I'm like, come on, make it happen. Just make it happen. It's just obvious already. I mean, if the comics already gave it off that it's obviously a Ronnie-Kid thing. How about this? This could be a Ronnie-Kid thing, Ronnie Ann. You're just too shy to even like express your feelings towards her now.
How is it that the comic? How's it that the comic ships Ronnie-Kid more than the actual show itself?
I know. I'm so surprised at that. But the other thing too is like, how about the Loud House, for example? Lincoln has not mentioned Ronnie Ann ever in season 5 yet. So I'm like, when is it the time that Ronnie Ann actually visits Lincoln and Royal Woods in season 5? Maybe go visit their junior high, for example. That would be really cool. And there could be another like Ronnie-Kid moment that'll happen in the Loud House.
Yeah, exactly. I want to see more of that because we've seen Lincoln visit Ronnie Ann more in Great Lake City. We never really see Ronnie Ann. We never really see Ronnie Ann come back to visit Lincoln in Royal Woods for some reason. It's like, it's got to be like a give and take. It's got to be visitation's got to be a two-way street, Ronnie Ann. Just saying.
Exactly. I mean, like, you have Lincoln come in. Lincoln has been visiting the Casagrandes, for example. I think we're like 3 times already. So really, like, Ronnie Ann has to return the favor. I mean, yeah, you can see her in Don't Forget About It, but
Don't You Forget About Me.
Yeah, don't you forget about me. But yeah, there's nothing else after that. So Ronnie Ann, can we get you to go to Royal Woods, to get to Royal Woods and hopefully talk to Lincoln too? That would be awesome to be another Ronnie-Kid moment.
Yeah, I'm telling the score right now, like it's 3-0 right now. Lincoln has visited Ronnie Ann 3 times. Ronnie Ann, unfortunately, has visited Lincoln 0 times for some reason. Because, given the fact that Royal Woods was Ronnie Ann's old home, where she had fun with Lincoln doing Dance Dance Resolution, and not to mention Flippies. So you think that, for once, she would actually visit him just as much as often as he visits her. Just saying.
Yeah. I don't know. The other thing, too, is that what kind of bugs me is that how did Lincoln get into Royal Woods? Or get to Great Lake City? Like, he just randomly comes into Ronnie Ann's apartment and just, rings the doorbell and even wears sunglasses and a mustache.
It's one of those things where you can't really think about it too much because I know for a fact that it actually could be that either Rita or Lynn Sr. Drops Lincoln off at Great Lake City because we did see Rita drop off Lincoln once in a horoscope. Yeah,
exactly. So I'm like, maybe Parrot, maybe Lori. I don't know. Lori could actually like drop him off there. It'll be all depends. But forget about that. Let's actually just continue on with this show. We're gonna be talking more about Ronnie-Kid a whole lot if we're gonna be discussing more about it.
That's a whole new podcast episode for another day.
Let's move on ahead. So I thought the episode was going to be all about Ronnie Ann and Lincoln pranking each other, but it actually is about Sid. So how bad did you feel about Sid knowing that she was ruining pranks for Ronnie Ann and Lincoln?
I never really expected Sid to take the center stage in this episode. But since I really like Sid, and we've been begging for more Sid focused episodes for like months and years. Thank God for Zoo. Thank God for the Zoo episode, by the way. Thank God for that. Um, now, now, um, now, how do I put it? I really like Sid in this episode, especially the end. Oh my god, the ending is pure genius, and we're gonna get to that later. But I really do like how they portrayed Sid in a similar way that is similar to her previous Sid focus episode. Sort of like the innocent, naive, sweet type that wants to help out, but even though her intentions may be good, the outcome of her contributions end up going not so great. But she's trying her best. She's trying her best.
I think through like a fourth of the episode, it was more of like Sid trying to help Ronnie Ann, but Sid just continues to like ruin the pranks themselves. And I didn't know you can actually have negative points. So apparently you can like talk yourself out because of a failed prank. So you see Sid just continue to just do random things like put a fish in a backpack, but it didn't happen because a lot of birds came in. Put put toothpaste on the floor, have sandpaper, toilet paper, and that didn't work either. So to say the least, like there was like Ronnie was already setting up the pranks. The thing is that Sid just continues to like get triggered by him. Like she's triggering him all, and I feel bad for Sid because it's like, yeah, she said that she wants to be like an ultimate prankster too, but not this time. It doesn't seem to be the case here. Like she's trying her best. And you know what? I think I remember we were complaining about Sid focus episodes, and then we have a 30-minute episode with Zoo Emergency. Again, this is actually a Sid focus episode if you think about it.
Yeah, exactly. Like, it's like they continue to answer our prayers for more Sid focus episodes. It's just that, like with Zoo Emergency, we expected it to be a Sid focused episode. Whereas Prankaversary, on the other hand, it's something we didn't expect, and it was a pleasant surprise, in my opinion, because at the end of the day, this is a Sidonican episode, and with Sidonican episodes so far with Utter Mess, Sid didn't get as much focus as Ronnie Ann did. Like Lincoln and Sid were sick and fiddle to Ronnie Ann, whereas Ronnie Ann was center stage in Utter Mess. I like how Prankaversary takes us for a surprise, like pretty much how do you put it? It pretty much it goes a different route than expected, pretty much. It goes a different route than expected, and it gives a more focus to the character of the three that we didn't expect to. But at the end of the day, not only did she surprise us by pulling it off, she pulled it off in flying colors. I mean, flying colors, man.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, like I said, I felt bad for Sid just ruining all the pranks because like look, it's a prank war between Ronnie Ann and Lincoln, and then Sid was trying to help Ronnie Ann, but it turns out to like trigger all the pranks, and Sid even tried to like help Lincoln out, and then that ruined the pranks too. So it's like, yeah, Sid, you're not good for pranking, and I feel bad because like Ronnie Ann and Lincoln actually had to like call off the prank battle because they had to just stop Sid from pranking, and that obviously made Sid sad that she went to the zoo. And that turned out to be, well, you'll see later.
Bro, but angsty Sid though, angsty Sid. Well, the animators, like the character animators, really nailed angsty Sid because you could see like through her eyes, through her sad eyes, with the wrinkles in the bottom, you could see how heartbroken and left out Sid really feels. Even though she tries to cover it with her small grin, her small smile, at the end of the day, it's the eyes of the character that say it all, in my opinion, when it comes to character emotions. And I feel that the eyes of Sid, as she says, "Oh, it's fine. I was getting tired of pranking anyway. I'll just go to the zoo and all that stuff." It's like my heart shattered because it's such a hard feeling when you're left out of an event or something. It's a really hard feeling that you really feel. I know we've all been there, so we do sort of relate to Sid in that sort of sense. But then with this episode, it's something that's not her territory, but you can tell she means well because she wants to use this as a way to spend time with Ronnie Ann and Lincoln.
Oh yeah, indeed, and of course, like she wants to like try to catch up and actually like be a prankster herself. But yeah, I mean, still, actually, the other thing too I want to say is that were you expecting a prank war between Ronnie Ann and Lincoln, like actually have them prank each other? Because throughout this episode, we didn't even see a prank between each other, except for that one time where Ronnie Ann actually like pulled a prank on Lincoln.
Oh yeah, of course. I was expecting whole lots of pranks from both sides, and I think we've seen like an adequate amount from each of them. But I honestly felt that I thought the Prankaversary, it was going to be an entire episode dedicated to Ronnie Ann versus Lincoln, prank each other from beginning to end. But I like how the writing in this episode subverts our expectations and gives focus to the third character, the third piece of the puzzle, which is Sid. Make her the center character and actually write her very well. Especially the ending. Especially the ending.
Okay.
Yes, we're going to talk about it soon.
I was actually expecting to see more pranks with Ronnie Ann and Lincoln, but they have it all set up, and then you see Sid just get triggered with the pranks, and then like when the battle came back again, they were going to have each other get pranked. But I love the fact that they're just hiding in the bushes saying like, I know you're there. I know you're there. Why don't you come on out and just, get triggered with the pranks? and FYI, poor Adelaide, who actually had to come in and actually get triggered and actually trigger the pranks too. Oh, you had to be in the middle of it all, Adelaide.
Oh, damn. Yeah, honestly, you didn't expect Adelaide to get roped into this because she just walks out of nowhere, like walks in like in the middle of the prank field, and then she gets pranked herself.
She gets triggered herself. She actually triggers one of them. Yeah. So the other thing too is that Adelaide came by. Sid said they're saying like Sid got eaten by a snake. They're trying to like rescue Sid from, but you know what? Actually, Sid was actually pulling a prank on them. So how did you like what Sid did here in this episode? In the end of the episode. I would applaud too.
Yes, very well done. Like very well played, Sid. You really got them chained. I applaud you.
Oh, yeah,
oh my god. It really shows that, when it comes to Sid, there's more than meets the eye. Like underneath that innocent, sweet, naive personality, there's that little evil genius somewhere just waiting to just sink their teeth into them, like get full on revenge on them, and she pulled it off very well. And it was all planned out. It was very well thought out. Like you got the walkie-talkie on the snake. You got your zoo animals in on it. And of course, you got Adelaide, who's in on it. And let me tell you, Adelaide is such a great actress. We all thought that like Sid was. It's not only does Sid pull the wool over Ronnie Ann and Lincoln's eyes, but also she pulls the wools over the eyes of the audience as well. We really thought that Sid was legit trapped in the snake, but no. It turns out that it was actually the walkie-talkie that is digested by the snake, and it turns out that Sid, who was like hiding somewhere, talking through another walkie-talkie, making it seem as if she was trapped in that snake, and then Ronnie Ann and Lincoln tried to save her. I was just like, oh my god, yes. Like never before see like not since Snoop's On from the Loud House have I seen a Loud Casa episode in which I have seen a character's revenge scheme pulled off so perfectly. It is just off.
I think in this one, it was actually set up perfectly, because the thing is, like when we first saw like Sid like in a monkey cage with doing a prank on the monkeys, you're thinking the monkeys actually did something with Sid, and then this whole setup where Adelaide is saying like Sid is in a reptile pit, a reptile pit, and she's she's stuck there. We're just scared for her. And then you see monkeys throwing stuff at him. And the thing is that I was surprised about that. I was like, huh. oh my God, is Sid really? I think the way that they wrote the episode, it just makes us think that, oh my God, is Sid really stuck in the snake? Until the last moment where we saw Sid actually out of the snake doing a pretty good prank on Ronnie and Lincoln. And I was like, wow, this is amazing. You guys did a good job on this. Because literally, I was like following up. I was like, I was listening to Adelaide. I was like, okay, maybe Sid is really in trouble. Maybe Sid is really in the snake. And then, you see Ronnie and Lincoln pretty much in peril, just trying to get Sid out. But the fact that that Sid actually did it perfectly to her prank definitely was worth watching. I mean, it was really a good setup, and I have to say, good job, writing team. Good job, staff of the Casagrandes, because you guys did a pretty good job leading me on, thinking Sid is actually like trapped in a snake, and I got myself pranked, to be honest.
Yeah, that's the thing. Sid not only pranked Ronnie and Lincoln, she pranked us as well, and that's why I applaud Sid for her ingenious idea. And also, it's Sid represents the writers as well. The writers pranked us real good. So major props to the writers for this ingenious ending. This ingenious ending, definitely. This poetic ending.
All right. So now that Sid is now a part of the prank battle, how excited are you for the next one?
We want more Prankversary episodes. Yes, we want Prankversary 2, baby. We want Prankversary 2. And
so,
you know what's going to happen in Prankversary 2? Well, speaking of 2, we're going to have a 2-on-2 pranky battle. You got Ronnie and Sid versus Lincoln and Hear me out.
No. I don't know if Luann could be a part of this.
No, you just spoiled the surprise, man.
I'm too bad. I know what you're gonna say.
Ronnie and Sid versus Lincoln and the comedian, evil prank genius herself, Luann Loud. Yes, Lincoln is gonna bring his own secret weapon because we all know Luann Loud. We all know Luann Loud, first of all. We all know how much of a top expertise that she is in that kind of thing. And of course, you guys all remember the April Fool's episodes in which Luann's pranks are like top notch from top to bottom. And she's much more of a pranking expert than Ronnie and Lincoln combined. So it's going to be fascinating. It's going to be very interesting, very intriguing to see Lincoln pretty much bring out the big guns, bring out his sister into this. Because first of all, like one thing to really keep in mind is that it's going to open more doors to, because we've been begging for the Loud Sisters appearances to be in the Casagrandes. I'm just like, okay, you got Lori there, but why not have the others? Like, and then of course, what better Loud Sister that is more suitable for a Prankversary episode than Luann Loud?
I do not expect Luann to actually join this. I would rather see a three, like a battle royale between the three of them. So like you have Ronnie Ann versus Lincoln versus Sid, and whoever pranks the most wins the battle. So if they're gonna do a Prankversary 2, I want to have these three actually prank it out, and I would imagine Sid winning. So
you think?
This makes it a stronger. This will make it a very strong Sidonican episode if they actually have all three of them actually prank together.
Yeah. Honestly, in terms of a now that would actually be good as well. No lie, it's going to be intriguing to see Ronnie versus Lincoln versus Sid. I do want that as well. But the thing is that with sequels to already established episodes, I feel that like sequels should sort of like build up upon the previous episode. So I feel that the 2-on-2 idea that I just mentioned like would be executed well, because it's going to take like a different direction with the Prankversary episode.
I feel like it's going to be a long shot because Luann is not in the Casagrandes, so I don't know if she's going to make her first appearance in a Prankversary episode.
No, yeah, I can imagine her being there because I think that like Lincoln is going to make some sort of deal with Luann, which is like going to be, okay, Luann, if you help me with this Great Lakes City Prankversary, I will do I will do all your chores for a week, and I will be your clown assistant again. I'll be your clown assistant again. I promise.
I cannot see. I don't know. I cannot see that happen to me. I just feel like it's just with these three guys. With these three, they got to have a Prankaversary together with these three. Because I can see, like I said, I can see like anyone can win. Because Lincoln's a good prankster, Ronnie An's a good prankster, Sid surprisingly is a good prankster. So let the three battle it out and prank people. Maybe prank themselves, but maybe they could also prank like others in the making too. And what's also another thing too is that Sid also has Adelaide too. So you have sisters pretty much like teaming up together to prank Ronnie Ann and Lincoln. So I would have to say, I believe there's going to be a good. I would say these three friends need to actually have like a battle together. They'll be really epic though.
I would say that like either or, whichever idea they're going to come up with, like they're like both of them, like both these ideas have the potential to work, but it's all about the execution. Whichever one they go with, it's all about the execution of the idea.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, it's a long shot to actually have Luann actually be in the Casagrandes. I know that she appeared only once, but in the Christmas episode, but it's like only for like what 10 seconds. I need her if she's going to be like in a long episode where she actually talks and actually like brings a lot of plot to the show. Then that's a long shot. So I mean like. Maybe to that Carlota episode that's coming out soon, Letty has a shot to actually be in that one. Just watch.
Okay, like again, you had to remind me of how the Casagrandes Christmas really robbed the Louds of their potential to be included in this episode. But but anyway, I feel that with the next Prankversary, like Prankversary 2, I feel that like either or could work. Like as long as they have some sort of like twist on it, as long as they have a surprise as well. Because with Prankaversary, we had a surprising twist that not only pranked Ronnie Ann and Lincoln, but also pranked us as well. I want the next Prankaversary episode to have that sort of thing too, where you have some sort of like surprising twist that pranked us as well, not just the characters within the show, but take a different direction with it.
Yeah, I can understand that, but maybe Luann pops up in the last minute of the episode, saying like it's all me all along. It was Luann all along.
Yeah, who's been messing up everything?
Oh no, someone knows WandaVision.
It's been Luann Loud all along.
All right. Let's move on ahead here. Anything else you want to bring up from this episode?
Not really. It's just I really like this episode. I really love Sid in this episode, especially. I absolutely love the ending because it got Ronnie Ann and Lincoln good, and not only did it get them good, it got us good as well. So in a way, it's a prank towards us. So I have to say, very well executed, very well played, and yes, I'm gonna go even further. It's even better than Another Mess.
Wow, that's surprising. I didn't know about that. So I got nothing else to say there. It's just more of like I would love to see more of them actually having a prank war. So it kind of like sets up for another Prankaversary. Hopefully, actually having real pranks actually show off in battle. So hopefully, with Sid now in the lineup, I can imagine a Prankaversary that is gonna go like through heck in 15 minutes. Anyways, so what's your rating on the episode?
I'm going to give this, honestly, a 9.5. I'm going to give it a 9.5.
Really high up there. Wow.
Either a 9 or a 9.5. Somewhere around there. Maybe 9.25. 9.25. Like, I really like this episode. I love how the episode takes a different direction than expected. Whereas we expected to see more of like Lincoln versus Ronnie Ann, when in reality, we got Lincoln versus Ronnie Ann as sort of playing as a background role where you got Sid on center stage. And not only did you get Sid center stage, but you actually pulled off the character really well with her innocent, sweet, and naive personality. Trying to do trying to help with good intentions, but then at the end of the day, things don't go so well. So, so when Sid gets rejected, you see that look on her face that you just can't help but just feel sorry for, especially the eyes. And so later on, like Sid gets her ultimate revenge at them. like with the whole snake prank, it was just mwah, just stroke of genius, just stroke of genius, not just from Sid, but from the writers as well. Like I pointed out, it's just, there's a different side of Sid that we don't expect to see every day. I'm glad that it finally unleashed on her. Oh, and also, you want to know a funny thing? One thing I forgot to mention is that Lincoln somehow is scared of going into a reptile pit.
Yeah,
Lincoln,
I was surprised about that.
Lincoln, you have Lana Loud.
Lana loves reptiles. Why did Lincoln scared of going in there? I was surprised about that one too. Like Lincoln is scared of lizards or
Lincoln,
reptiles.
Lincoln, you got Lana Loud, who has a pet stick of her own called El Diablo. Hello. El Diablo, hello.
No, it's so strange too, because like, yeah, Lana has like lizards and snakes and pretty much like, all these creatures, but I didn't know Lincoln was scared of those. I'm like, a brand new fear that Lincoln has. I had to see this more in the Loud House if they ever actually have an episode of like, reptiles in the Loud House or something.
It's got to be a long episode then.
Yeah. I gotta say though, I mean, I was absolutely impressed with the episode. I mean, we were all focused that it was going to be a Ronnie and Lincoln episode where they're going to prank each other, but no, Sid comes in and takes the show. He takes the episode because of the pranks and pretty much it's all about her. You can see that she's being innocent, trying to do the pranks with Ronnie Ann, but of course failed at it. Then at the end, you also get to see at the end, you get to see like Sid just being smart and actually pranking them, and also being a part of the prank war now. So to say the least, these three are now going to be ultimate pranksters, and hopefully they have a good prank battle in the next one. I hope they have a next one. Let's get a Prankversary 2 happening, hopefully. But yeah, 9 out of 10 for me. I was impressed, really impressed about this episode. Really leaning towards one thing when you came into the episode, and then switching it over to something else. I thought that was actually a really nice twist that they did in the episode. It pranked us to say, and that's pretty good because like the writers can do that, and it really impressed the audience. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, they got the prank because it stayed true to the spirit of pranking. Like it stayed true to the spirit of pranking by pranking the audience, and that's what I love about this episode for that.
No doubt about it. All right, so that's pretty much it for the episode reviews. Let's head over to our previews, which is airing tomorrow at 7 p.m. on Nickelodeon. First episode is Do the Fruit Shake. Another Carl episode, by the way, unfortunately. So Carl's new hit song samples the singing group, but he needs to get the group's okay before it gets played on the radio. So what are your thoughts on how this episode is going to be?
Yeah. Of course, it's going to be another Carl episode because why not? Because, hey, Carl is the most iconic character in the Casagrandes. Okay, for real, though. I do like Carl, but for God's sakes, man, you're always saturating the kid way too much, man. Like, come on. Like, okay, granted, we just got an announcement for a Carlotta episode, but come on. I want to see more from her. I want to see more from CJ. I want to see more from Carlitos. Okay, I know recently we got a Carlitos episode, but still, we want more of them, man. Like, Carl's, like, taking up I feel Carl's like taking up this series. Like he's trying to compete with Ronnie Ann for like the most appearances. I'm like, you can't do that. Ronnie Ann's the main focus of the Casagrandes. You can't do that. Of course, it's called the Casagrandes. It's not called the Carla Grandes. It's the Casagrandes.
So yeah, another Carl episode just kind of tells me that what are they trying to treat Carl like Lincoln Loud? Because he's pretty much like in every episode.
Oh God! Not only that, but I suspect, like I feel that they sort of like doing some sort of like bad habit. The Casagrandes are sort of like doing sort of a similar bad habit that season 1, especially of the Loud House, is doing as well, where you got a certain character taking up most of the show. Well, some of the show, but I'm not saying most of the show, but more than needed. And of course, you got this. Carl Casagrande has his own repetitive formula as well. The Carl Casagrande formula is real, people. Where you got
wow, like, just like the Lincoln formula, like you were talking about all this time.
You got Carl cooking up a scheme. Then the scheme pretty much comes to bite Carl in the ass. Carl tries to do right at the end, and then as an ending gag, you got Carl getting some sort of like karma or comeuppance. Now, I think that like with the Carl Casagrandes episodes, I feel that you know they do okay, mainly because you know like Carl you know, we all love Carl. We love, you know, how hilarious he could be with his greedy antics and all that stuff. But I just feel that with Carl, he's not really a character that we should focus on, like, you know, way too much up to the point where he's oversaturated. Like sometimes you just gotta have Carl like work in small doses, in a sense.
Mhm. Yeah, so I mean, yes, it's another Carl episode. So I mean, I understand people get annoyed about that, but to say the least, like he is trying to be like treated like Lincoln at the moment. I'm like, come on, you have too many episodes of Carl. But to say how the episode is going to go, it kind of seems like Carl is going to be making a record. I think the record gets heard by a group. From the text, it kind of tells me it's a 70s group. So I would imagine like some disco group coming in and saying like, "Hey, we love your song. We want to buy it off you." And the other thing too is like apparently putting it on the radio, and I'm like, so I'm guessing he bought this. I don't know what. I think they bought the song, and then he's trying to put it in the radio, but they will not allow it. So what Carl does is that Carl's just gonna sneak in the song on the radio, and of course that leads to bad things. The group is probably gonna hate him, get the money back, that kind of stuff. I mean, I don't know how music industry works, but you know what? It's DJ Carl having an episode of actually getting him popular. It's kind of like the kid plays the game. You know that toy episode where Carl was reviewing.
Yeah,
toys.
the
It's
toy
kind of the same thing
episode.
Like that.
It's
kind of the
it's
same
gonna
thing
be like that.
Yeah.
Lather, rinse, repeat. It's gonna be
the
a
same
lather,
thing like
rinse, repeat.
yeah. It's gonna be the same thing like that, except in music instead.
And that's what I mean. Like this is why I feel that they oversaturate Carl too much, because at the end of the day, there's nothing much new you could do with Carl, honestly, other than the formula I just told you about.
Well, the other thing too is that
with CJ Carlota, you have like there are a lot of opportunities, like a lot of unique, different potential episodes for both CJ and Carlota.
Well, we haven't had a CJ episode in so long. So, except Shortcut. That's the only last CJ episode. So, you know, you need to get more exposure to the other people of the Casagrandes. Obviously, Carlota, she did have an episode, Undivided Attention. But yeah, I have to agree, though. Too much Carl episodes. But again, we have another Carl episode. So I don't know what they're doing there. It just feels like Carl's like the GOAT of the Casagrandes. It's pretty much like, you know what kind of episode should we write up? Oh, let's do another Carl episode. You know, everyone, just because we need to actually like try to think about like how we're gonna keep the story focused on the other characters, you know? That's why Carl's just being thrown into episodes just randomly.
Exactly.
It's like just wait. Like every Carl episode comes a good Casagrande episode. Just think about that. Because like, yeah, one bad Carl episode and then it leads to Merchancy. One bad episode of Carl maybe leads to that new Carlota episode. So maybe the writers are thinking like we really should really go in depth of each character, but let's put a Carl episode in there just for filler or something.
Yeah, I feel that it wouldn't surprise me if they went that direction. Honestly, also another thing I want to add: where's an Adelaide focus episode? I repeat, we need an Adelaide focus episode. We haven't gotten.
We did have one since what, Croaked?
Yeah, since Croaked, exactly. Like Croaked is still my favorite Casagrandes episode, by the way. I'm just like, we haven't had an Adelaide focused episode in like years. It's kind of insane when you do think about it, like how
I mean the whole family did have a second. The whole family did have an episode. I mean, a whole special. So yeah, I guess that works. But yeah, I mean, like, yeah, for secondary characters, like they don't really have focus episodes. I mean, we are so happy we actually have a Sid focus episode. But I'm like, yeah, Adelaide could also have an episode too. But then again, she did appear in a couple episodes too. Like she did appear in what was it, Uptown Funk? There was also Karate Chops. There's a ton of them. I mean, there's a ton of times where where Adelaide is in the Casagrandes.
I mean, like Adelaide with just Adelaide, not with Carl, not with Sid, just Adelaide. Either Adelaide alone or Adelaide with her animal friends at the zoo. I want to see.
So you want to have so you want to have an event. You want to have an adventure just like Carlito did in Fluff Love.
Yeah, pretty much. Like, you know that side plot with Adelaide trying to free her friends in Zoo Emergency?
Yeah,
like,
her. Yeah.
her monkey friends, monkey pals. Pretty much think of that, but like an extension of that certain plot. Like have it be like have it be like an extended version of Adelaide's B plot in Zoomergency.
Right. Well, either way, I mean, like, yeah, I mean, to say the least, yeah, Carl's really overexposed. But the thing is that, like I said, it could be filler for a good Casagrandes episode coming up. Yeah, you're saying something about Adelaide. We have a lot of we have so many chances of seeing Adelaide in episodes. I mean, even in Prankaversary, for example. So to say the least, Adelaide's still being like used frequently, not a lot because she's a secondary character. So, time will tell if there's going to be another one of those episodes. But to say the least, like the Casagrandes have it so randomly that any character can actually have an episode. Well, who next? Nikki? Who next? Samir or Casey? Honestly, it's really up there.
I think so too.
All right, so let's move on to our second episode that's also airing on Friday called Babysitter. So in this synopsis here, it says, with the adults out for the night, Bobby and Carlota takes turn watching the kids and going to a party. So they're babysitting and going to a party. How is this going to work out? Omid, what are your thoughts on how this episode's going to go?
First off, I got to say, Bobby in a kigurumi. Bobby is in a kigurumi. I repeat, Bobby is in a kigurumi. Look at that. Look at that. You can't get any better than that. Kigurumi Bobby, baby.
It's in a cat outfit, so it's kind of calling back to what's love got to do with it. So I'm guessing she still loves cats.
Yeah, honestly, it's going to be interesting to see like these two try to take turns watching the kids going to their own parties, and then they're going to compete. What I imagine is that they're going to compete for the amount of time that they want to spend at their own parties. So I guess what they're going to do is that somewhere down the middle, they're going to pretty much compete to see, like, since because keep in mind, they're going to get exhausted going back and forth. So I think what it's going to come down to is they're going to have some sort of big competition on whoever loses has to watch the kids while the other goes to the party. I would imagine that happening.
I keep seeing the previews on Instagram, and I saw like Carlota doing her own thing, and then Bobby skateboarding and doing his own thing with Par, by the way. And so I'm like, Par and Bobby, we have never seen that friendship in so long. I feel like, they're just going to try to take turns, and obviously they're not going to like it because, like, yeah, Carlota wants to hang out with the party more, and then she has to, like, bail for like an hour to watch the kids, and then Bobby has to go to his party, bail for an hour and watch the kids. It's not going to be a good system. So I would imagine them obviously fighting and obviously competing. I would be in the right mind there, Omid, where they're going to fight to see who would actually stay for the whole thing, who will stay and ditch their party to watch the kids for the whole night. So yeah, I would imagine this being a battle between these two siblings. The other thing too, this kind of portrays like a married couple battling to each other, because the voice actors are actually a married couple. Bobby Pena Vega, you got Baba Pena Vega and Alexis Pena Vega actually voicing Bobby and Carlota respectively. It kind of tells me, like, is this how a couple fights?
Yeah, honestly, I think, like, do they have kids of their own? I'm not sure. Do they have kids of their own?
I don't know about that. I don't think they do, because they're still young. They're still young.
I would imagine like if they do have to babysit, imagine this, like their voice actors, like it's gonna be they're gonna have babysitter come to life if they're put in the same situation as their characters were in. I would imagine that coming to life. So I kind of like how this episode reflects upon like this episode and the conflict between Carlota and Bobby reflects upon potential future conflict for their voice actors as well.
Yeah, I just love how they just set it up. And the other thing too is, like, chemistry between Carlota and Bobby. We have not seen that ever in the Casagrandes. You can see them, like, partially, but, like, not like this in a full episode. So potential of possible character development between both of these characters. Maybe like some character development with Carlota, which we are trying to look for throughout Casagrandes.
I mean, hopefully we could get it for the Music Fest episode that she's going to be in, because let me tell you, that episode, from what I've seen of the synopsis, it actually looks quite promising.
No, it does. It does look promising. It's pretty much VIP'd again, but this time around a 30-minute episode.
Yeah, like it's pretty much like VIP'd extended.
Part 2. All right. So, unless you have anything else to say about these 2 episodes, I think we're gonna call it the end of the episode.
Bobby and a Kigurumi, baby. I can't get enough of that. I kind of want to draw. I have to like. I'm sort of tempted to do a fan art of Bobby and a Kigurumi, but I may do it. I may not do it.
You're a fan artist. You're a fan artist. I'll try my best to be a fan artist again. I've just not lifted my pen for a while.
Yeah.
Oh man. All right. Well, that's with that in mind. I think that's pretty much it for our episode. A little mini episode here. So, thank you very much for listening to our little mini episode as we reviewed. What's it? Battle of the Grandpas and Prankversary. I hope you guys will enjoy Babysitter and do the fruit dance tomorrow at 7:00 p.m. on Nickelodeon. Just remember that you can listen to the Loud Casa Talks on all podcast providers. Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you listen to podcasts. And also check out our YouTube channel as well. It's youtube.com/fanpage of TLH. You can check out our Loud Casa recordings here and our little mini episode recordings here as well. Make sure you also like, subscribe, and hit the bell button so you get notified when we are when we actually are live in Loud Casa Talks. Just remember that next week, on Sunday, we are having our Ask Us Anything live stream. You can ask us like questions about the Loud House, the Casagrandes, anything cartoonish like anime or like Owl House, Amphibia, etc., that kind of stuff. But yeah, it's pretty much Ask Us Anything. We'll have our chat live, so you can ask us questions during our live stream. But yeah, Sunday is just gonna be just us, just sitting down, chatting with the Loud Casa crowd, and just bring us questions, whatever you guys want. It's gonna be fun because hopefully we love to interact with you guys, especially for one episode of the Loud Casa Talks. And then our season finale, we're going to delay it because Omid is going to be busy for July. On July 25th, we're going to have our season finale. We're going to be talking about Lincoln Loud and his future. We already have him all exposed throughout the Loud House. So it's going to be a very long episode. And we kind of want to think about like what will happen for Lincoln now in the future, considering that he is the main character of the Loud House. But what big things can happen to Lincoln as season 5 rolls along onto season 6, 7, and more?
Yes, this is going to be a huge episode. It's probably going to be our biggest episode when it comes to talking about character analysis of a certain Loud sibling, because like he's not just a Loud boy. He's the main character. So we got a lot to talk about this kid.
All right. And yeah, that's pretty much it for us here. So thank you very much for listening to our mini episode of the Loud Casa Talks. I hope you guys enjoy the new episodes tomorrow. Anyways, my name is Nate.
And this is Omid saying thank you all so much for your support. Your support means a lot to us. Thank you all so much for watching. Thank you all so much for listening. And until next time, smell you later, dudes.